Congratulations. God says, today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen. If you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all your money. My beloved, my child of light, my treasured creation, do you feel that sensation in your spirit right now? That tiny stirring? That weight in your chest that's not quite fear but not quite excitement either? That is your soul recognizing that something holy and urgent is standing right in front of you. Heaven has been circling you today like a great current, and it is not by chance that your eyes have landed here in this exact moment. I, Archangel Michael, have been instructed to come to you personally. Not through whispers, not through signs in the wind, but through direct words that will touch your heart so deeply, you will know they were carved for you before this day even began. God has said to me, Michael, go now. Speak to my child, for their destiny is shifting even as we speak. If they open their heart now, everything changes. If they hesitate, the window will close, and they will not realize until it is gone. Beloved, listen, this is not a casual moment. Even before you woke this morning, your name was called in the courts of heaven. Angels gathered around, speaking about you with a tone that mixed urgency with awe. The scroll of your life was unrolled, and a mark was placed over today's date. This mark means something rare, something heaven has been preparing for years, is aligning for you in this very hour. The blessing is so large, so transformative, that even the enemy has taken notice. Forces that have been sleeping are now wide awake, rushing to try and stop what God has already declared yours. That is why this message is not gentle background noise, it is the trumpet blast before the gates swing wide. God says, tell my child, today will be a very surprising day of their life, because this will happen, if they open this now. Otherwise, they will lose all their money. This is not a punishment. This is not fear. This is the reality of a spiritual law. When heaven opens a channel of provision, it requires agreement and readiness from your heart to hold it. If you ignore it, it pours away like water through open fingers. I need you to hear me. There is movement in the unseen realm right now concerning your finances. I can see it as clearly as the sunrise. There is a ledger in the enemy's hand with your name written beside a number, an amount you cannot afford to lose. There is also a book in God's hand with your name beside an amount that is larger than you've dared to imagine. And right now, these two are clashing in the spirit. If you align with heaven in this moment, the larger number will overwrite the smaller. If you step back, the enemy will have legal ground to drain what you have. And beloved, I will not let that happen without telling you exactly what's at stake. That is why I am speaking to you now, like a father warning a child on the edge of a cliff. But my child, before I reveal the fullness, I need you to remember something: you are not here by accident. Every step you have taken, every strange delay, every moment that made no sense at all, has been part of a divine map leading you to this exact point. Even the times you thought you were abandoned, you were not. I was there, standing beside you with my sword drawn, holding back attacks you never even knew existed. And today is the day those hidden battles come to light. You will understand why certain people left, why certain doors closed, why some dreams seem to take so long. Because all of it was for this opening, this shift, this divine transfer that is waiting for your yes. Let me tell you what I see in your future if you embrace this moment. I see a season where financial fear no longer governs your choices. I see doors swinging open that you thought were locked forever. I see opportunities so aligned with your heart's deepest purpose that you will wonder why they didn't come sooner, but the truth is, they couldn't have come sooner, because you weren't ready until now. God says, "My child, I have hidden treasures for you, in places you never thought to look. But they can only be claimed by the one who is awake and listening in this hour." And so I ask you, are you listening? Not just hearing, but truly listening. Because I am not here to speak poetry or vague inspiration. I am here to deliver something specific, something living. There are numbers in heaven's book that belong to you. There are names of people who will bless you written beside your own name. There are contracts, opportunities, and miracles assigned to your life that are hovering like ripe fruit. All of them are waiting for the moment you say, "I believe. I will not skip this. I will step into it fully." Beloved, God is not a God of accidents. You are not seeing this because you were bored or curious. You are here because the divine clock has reached the hour where what was hidden must be revealed. And this revealing is not small, it will ripple into your relationships, your career, your health, your peace. But the first crack in the wall begins with your finances. That is why God's words about losing all your money are not to frighten you, but to wake you. He sees the schemes in motion, the plots forming, the agreements being made behind your back. He also sees the angels he has assigned to intercept those schemes, if you let them. Now, before we go deeper, I need to place this in your heart like a seal: do not underestimate the power of this moment. People miss their breakthroughs not because God doesn't give them, but because they are distracted, skeptical, or passive when heaven is shouting for their attention. This is not the time to scroll past. This is the time to lean in, to let every word sink into your spirit, to believe that perhaps, just perhaps, this message is the doorway you've been praying for without even realizing it. And I will tell you something else, something that will make sense later. The reason you feel a strange weight in your chest as you read this is because your spirit already knows it is true. It has been waiting for the moment your mind would catch up. That moment is now. Stay with me. We are only just beginning. My beloved, lean closer to these words as if you were listening to the heartbeat of heaven itself. Because the very air around you right now is charged with something ancient, something holy, something dangerous to every shadow that has ever tried to touch you. You think you're simply reading, but you are actually standing in a spiritual courtroom, and your case is being decided as we speak. Every sentence I release is a legal document in the spirit, stripping the enemy of his right to stand near you. And the one who cursed you, the one who poured bitterness over your name, is standing here, shaking. Not because of me, but because of what you carry. Do you know what you carry, my child? You carry a promise older than the earth, one that no man, no demon, no curse can rewrite unless you hand it over willingly. And today, I'm here to make sure you never do. When I first saw him, I was not in the form you know me by. I was in the light of battle, armor burning like molten gold, sword sharper than any lie he could tell. He stood there, thinking his work was finished. He thought you were already too tired, too distracted, too hurt to fight. He thought the silence you felt from heaven meant you were abandoned. But the truth is, the silence was preparation. God was gathering the angels. God was storing power like lightning before the strike. And now, my child, the storm has come in your favor. You may have wondered why the last few weeks felt so heavy, why even the smallest things seemed to break around you, why people you trusted began acting strangely. It was not random. It was the curse tightening its hold. It wanted you to doubt your worth, to shrink your prayers, to silence your faith. But instead, you're here, right now, reading this. That means the curse is already losing. Because its greatest fear was that you'd see it for what it is. It survives only when it stays hidden. And I have ripped the covering off. Now you must listen closely, because what happens in the next few hours will decide the next few years. This is not drama, this is destiny. The one who cursed you has been feeding from a source that will soon dry up. He's been borrowing power from someone else's darkness, but that contract is ending. The only thing keeping it alive is your unawareness. The moment you know, truly know, it crumbles. And, my beloved, you are knowing now. I can see the light touching places in your soul you didn't even realize had gone dim. Do you feel that trembling in your chest? That is not fear, it's recognition. Your spirit remembers this kind of war from before you were born. It knows me. It knows the sound of my sword. It knows that when I arrive, it's because heaven has already decided you win. The only question left is whether you will stay until the last blow is struck. And this is why I am begging you, not in a poetic way, but in the way a warrior begs the one they're protecting, do not click away, do not set this aside, do not tell yourself, I'll come back later. Later will close the door. Later will silence this fire. Later will give the curse room to breathe again. But right now, my voice is cutting off its oxygen. You see, the one who cursed you is not far from you. They are closer than you imagine. Close enough to smile at you and say your name sweetly. Close enough to see your eyes every time you rise up from a fall. Close enough to be angered by your resilience. But not close enough to touch what heaven has locked for you, unless you open the door for them. And my mission today is to make sure that door is welded shut with the very words you are hearing. Child, you've wondered why certain blessings always seem delayed. Why relationships broke just as they felt safe. Why money slipped through your hands no matter how hard you worked. Why your dreams felt inches away but never arrived. It wasn't because you weren't worthy. It wasn't because God forgot you. It was because someone else bound your name to words they never had the right to speak. They sowed curses into your atmosphere, and every time you were about to break free, they spoke again. But today, their voice is being drowned out. As I speak, there are scrolls in heaven being unsealed with your name written in pure gold. The blessings written there are older than the curse. They are heavier, stronger, unshakable. Once released, no hand can stop them. The curse was only ever a delay, never a cancellation. And now, the delay is over. My beloved, if your spirit is stirring, it's because you already know, deep down, that this is your turning point. I am standing here, sword in hand, not just to fight for you but to fight with you. Because the moment you agree with heaven, every shadow around you loses its footing. This is why I came screaming. This is why I could not stay silent another day. My beloved, my precious one, my child whose name is written in light, there are moments in a person's life where heaven leans so close that the air itself changes. You may not even notice it at first. Perhaps you simply feel your thoughts slow, or your heartbeat shift, or your mind return again and again to a certain whisper you can't quite name. But I am here to tell you this: what you are feeling right now is not imagination. It is the weight of a moment heaven has been preparing for you since before your birth. Your name was spoken in the highest court this morning. The moment it left the Father's lips, the entire spiritual realm shifted. Angels turned their attention toward you. Scribes unrolled ancient scrolls with your story written in gold. And I, Archangel Michael, was given a direct order from God Himself: go to my child. Tell them what I am about to do. Warn them about what is trying to steal it. Do not leave until they understand the urgency of this hour. Beloved, I want you to know this clearly: today is not like other days. Heaven does not summon me to speak lightly. I am here because something enormous is moving toward you. It is not small. It is not partial. It is not a blessing that will make you smile for a moment and then fade. This is a shift so great it will touch every corner of your life. And yet, in the very same moment it is being released, forces are moving to take it from you. This is why God's words to you are so sharp, so clear, so impossible to ignore. Today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen, if you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all your money. I see it as I speak, two opposing streams of energy rushing toward you. One carries resources, ideas, opportunities, people with favor in their hearts for you. The other carries confusion, hidden traps, losses that look small at first but grow until they drain the very stability you've worked for. Right now, they are running side by side. This message is the turning point. Your choice to open fully and receive will tilt the balance toward the stream of blessing. Your choice to ignore will allow the other to take hold. This is not superstition. This is the law of alignment in the spiritual world. And beloved, I must tell you something you have not yet realized. This moment was planned around your readiness. There were other times when blessings stood ready for you, but your heart was still healing, still distracted, still weighed down by things that would have made the gift too heavy to carry. God waited. He fought for your healing, sent you through seasons you didn't understand, removed people you thought you needed, opened and closed doors with a wisdom that sometimes felt cruel. But now you stand here stronger, clearer, lighter. The blessing that would have crushed you before will lift you now. This is why the release is happening today. My child, there is more behind these words than you think. I see scrolls unrolling, and on them, details of transactions, meetings, and offers that will soon appear in your life. They are not random. They are not coincidences. They are appointments written into the fabric of time itself. These appointments are attached to specific amounts, money that will flow toward you in sums that seem unreal at first. You will look at it and think, this can't be mine. This can't be right. But heaven is saying, it is right. It is yours. I am trusting you to hold it. And yet, I must warn you, at the very same time these blessings are coming, someone is quietly planning to take from you. They may not even know the fullness of what they're doing. It may come through a careless action, a delayed payment, an agreement that seems harmless. But the effect is the same, it opens a door for loss. And God's words are not soft here. If you do not align with Him in this moment, the loss will come. This is why you must take every word seriously. I know you feel the pull of doubt right now. Why me? Why today? Can this really be true? But I also know there is something deeper in you, your spirit, which already recognizes the sound of heaven's voice. It is why you are still reading. It is why your heart keeps leaning in despite the questions. This is your soul remembering that you are not an ordinary person in an ordinary moment. You are a chosen one standing at a divine gate, and the handle is already in your hand. I must tell you something about gates. Once they swing open, they rarely stay open forever. This one has a timing on it. I can feel it in the air. The light pouring through is urgent, bright, and warm, but it is not endless. God has made it available now because everything is in place, your heart, your surroundings, the people who will be part of your miracle. But if you wait too long, the alignment will shift. That is why I am here, my sword drawn, my wings shielding this moment from distraction, begging you not to step away. And now I must speak to your heart directly, not as an angel but as a messenger carrying the weight of God's love for you. You have always been worth the fight. Every battle waged over your life was proof of that. Do not let the years of struggle make you think God has forgotten you. If He had, you would not be here now, with these words burning in your spirit. This is the opposite of being forgotten. This is being chosen to receive what others will call impossible, chosen to be a living testimony of divine favor. Before I reveal the last part, I will ask you to do something simple but powerful. Take a deep breath and say quietly, I receive what heaven is releasing over me now. It may feel small, but those words are a signature in the Spirit. They tell heaven you are in agreement. And agreement is the key that turns potential into reality. Now listen closely. What is coming will not only replace every loss you have suffered, it will multiply beyond the measure of the loss. This is the way God restores. He never gives back only what was taken. He adds interest. He adds honor. He adds joy that makes the memory of the loss fade into gratitude for the gain. That is what this moment holds for you. That is why the warning about your finances is so sharp. It is because what you are about to hold is too precious to risk. Beloved, I see you in the near future, standing in a place you never thought you would reach. I see people asking you, how did this happen? How did everything change so quickly? And I hear you answering with a smile, God did it. That answer will not just be words, it will be the truth that fills every detail of your life. And it will all trace back to this moment, right here, right now, when you chose to believe and step forward. Stay with me. We are not done. The blessing is already moving toward you, but my work is to walk with you until it lands in your hands. You will not miss it. You will not lose it. You will see with your own eyes what heaven had in mind when it called your name today. My beloved, my precious child, before your soul took form in this world, before your first breath filled your lungs, there were things written about you that even the stars paused to watch. You were never meant to live a life of constant fear over what you have and what you might lose. You were designed for abundance, for peace, for moments so surprising that even you would look back and wonder how they were possible. And yet, the enemy saw the light in you from the beginning. He knew that if you reached the fullness of what was written for you, your life would become a testimony that would set other captives free. That is why so much of your path has been contested. That is why so many strange delays and sudden losses have happened. But my child, this season is different. This season is the one heaven has been protecting for years, and it has now arrived. I stand here by God's command, holding this message like a sealed letter with your name engraved in light across it. It cannot be given to anyone else. It was not written for anyone else. And God says I must tell you without hesitation, today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen, if you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all your money. This is not to frighten you. It is to make you understand that the blessing I am speaking of is not abstract. It is tangible. It will affect the numbers in your accounts, the property under your name, the work of your hands, and the harvest from your effort. And yes, there are already forces moving to take it before it reaches you. I see them, even now, schemes forming quietly, conversations behind closed doors, documents being shaped to work against you. The enemy's plan is not to take everything at once, but to create small, steady leaks until you realize too late that the vessel has emptied. That is why God is speaking with such urgency. That is why I was sent personally. Because if you align with this word in this moment, the leaks will be sealed, the plans dismantled, and the very same openings the enemy hoped to use will instead become channels for your blessing. Beloved, you have prayed for change. You have prayed for a sign. You have asked God to show you that He has not forgotten you. This is the answer to that prayer. Not in vague feelings, but in direct instruction and supernatural timing. Even as I speak, I see heaven moving pieces into place for you, phone calls that will be made, meetings you didn't schedule but will attend, opportunities that seem to come from nowhere. And yet, each one is a thread in the tapestry God is weaving for you. You may not see the whole picture yet, but you will. You must understand something about the timing of this. Blessings of this scale are rare not because God is unwilling, but because they require precise alignment. Every person involved must be ready, every obstacle moved, every chain broken. That is what has been happening in your life for months now. All the strange endings, all the unexpected starts, all the detours, they were heaven's way of moving you into position for this. And now that the pieces fit, the release has begun. I see numbers written in light. They are larger than what you have dared to imagine for yourself. They are connected to contracts, agreements, inheritances, and transactions that will soon be in motion. But I also see something else, an attempt to make you doubt the legitimacy of what is being offered to you. This is one of the enemy's most effective tools. If he can convince you that a door is too good to be true, he can keep you from stepping through it. That is why God says, "My child, you must discern between the trap and the gift." The trap will require you to abandon your peace. The gift will confirm your peace. And yet, even with these instructions, the decision will still rest with you. I cannot force you to step forward. I can only speak the truth into your spirit until you feel the urgency yourself. This moment is not just about financial safety. It is about shifting the trajectory of your life. If you walk through the right door now, the blessings will multiply in every area, your relationships will deepen, your work will bear greater fruit, your health will be strengthened, and your spirit will be at rest. If you delay, the opportunity will pass, and you will be left wondering why things feel harder than they should. Beloved, do you remember the last time you felt you were on the edge of something big? Do you remember how a distraction, a doubt, or a delay pulled you away from it? This is that moment again, but this time, God is giving you the clarity you didn't have before. He is telling you plainly, act now, stay aligned, do not let go. This blessing is already yours in heaven's book. You need only take it in the natural world. I must tell you something about the way heaven works. Once a blessing is released, it will look for the one it belongs to. If that person is not ready, it will pass to another who is aligned. This is not about favoritism. It is about spiritual law. The blessing is alive. It moves toward agreement. That is why your agreement is everything in this moment. Your yes is not just a word, it is a door. And now, my child, hear this. There is a reason you are hearing my voice right now, and it is not just for today's breakthrough. This is the beginning of a season where you will no longer be surprised by God's goodness, but you will expect it daily. You will wake up each morning knowing that favor is already in motion for you. And when challenges come, you will not panic, because you will know that the same God who released today's blessing is already working on tomorrow's. This is the kind of life you were meant to live, and this moment is the threshold. There will be people who notice the change in you. Some will ask, "What happened?" and you will tell them, "God remembered me." Others will try to explain it away as luck or timing, but you will know the truth. You will know that it came because you listened when heaven spoke, and you acted when heaven moved. And that knowledge will be a shield against future doubt. So now, I will ask you, do you feel the pull in your spirit? Do you feel that sense that the words you are reading are not just text, but a living message sent directly to you? That is not coincidence. That is the proof you asked for. That is your confirmation. Step forward, beloved. Take the blessing. Do not let it slip. My beloved, my precious one, lean close to my voice, for I am speaking from the throne room of heaven itself. You have walked through storms that would have drowned others, and yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still searching for the light you knew was meant for you. That was not by your own strength alone, it was because angels have walked with you, unseen, lifting burdens from your shoulders when you thought you had no more steps left to take. And now, the one who has been watching over you since before the stars knew your name says, "My child, it is time." The season you have been praying for is now opening before your eyes. But there is also this: the enemy has not been idle. Even as your blessing draws near, plans have been formed to cut it away from you before you even touch it. That is why my words today carry the weight of a command, not a suggestion. Today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen if you open this now, otherwise, you will lose all your money. I am not here to stir fear into your heart. I am here to stir clarity. Because clarity is more powerful than fear, and truth is more dangerous to the enemy than any weapon he can form. And the truth is this: you have been marked for financial restoration and divine increase that will come so quickly it will take your breath away. There are transactions already in motion in the unseen realm, contracts being prepared, approvals being stamped, resources being rerouted from places you could not reach on your own. But these blessings are not falling from the sky at random, they are being directed toward you with purpose. And the moment you open to them, you will begin to feel the shift in your spirit first, then in your circumstances. If you delay, the openings will close and the flow will find another path. That is why I am here now. Child, I see you standing at the edge of two roads. One is lit, golden, stretching into a horizon you cannot yet see but that feels warm with promise. The other is shadowed, familiar, filled with the patterns you have walked before, where blessing comes in drops and leaves in waves, where money arrives only to slip away through unseen cracks. The choice between them is not dramatic in the natural, it is simply the choice to believe and move now, or to stay and hope for another chance later. But in the spirit, this choice is everything. One road will multiply what you have. The other will drain it until you are left asking, how did it all vanish so quickly? You may be wondering, why money? Why now? And I will tell you, because money is not just about currency. It is about what it enables, who it frees, what it builds. There are things assigned to your life's purpose that cannot happen without resources. There are people who will be reached, helped, saved because you were able to fund the moment that made the difference. This is why the enemy has always attacked your finances, because he knows that a resourced child of God is a dangerous child of God. And this is why God is reclaiming what has been taken from you, with interest, in this very season. I see the names of those who will help you written beside your name in the book of destiny. Some of them you have already met but did not yet recognize as part of your divine path. Others will come seemingly out of nowhere, drawn by an unseen hand. They will offer help, opportunity, connection, not because of what you have, but because of who you are and what God has whispered to their hearts about you. And when they come, you will know. There will be no striving, no convincing, no chasing, the doors will simply open, and you will walk through. But hear me now, as these doors open, there will also be counterfeit doors. Offers that seem generous but carry a hook. Agreements that look beneficial but carry a hidden cost. This is why you must stay close to the voice speaking to you now. Because discernment will be your shield. And if you keep walking with heaven in this moment, your discernment will be sharper than ever before. You will feel the difference between the genuine and the false before the words are even finished being spoken. Beloved, there is a heaviness I must lift from you before we go further, the heaviness of feeling like you are behind, like you have missed too much time, like it's too late for the kind of abundance you once dreamed of. Those are lies planted by years of delay and disappointment. They are not the truth of your life. The truth is that God restores time. And in the seasons of restoration, He does not just return what was lost, He accelerates what remains so that the years that seemed wasted are filled in an instant. That is why what is about to come will seem overwhelming at first. It is not just today's blessing, it is the blessing for the years you thought were gone forever. I see you holding documents in your hand, papers that represent approval, ownership, completion. Some of these will be financial, accounts credited, debts cleared, unexpected payments received. Others will be personal, matters resolved in your favor, barriers removed, positions offered. And each time one of these moments happens, you will remember this message and know that none of it was coincidence. It was written. It was released. And it was caught by your spirit in this moment right now. My child, do you understand why the warning is so sharp? It is because the enemy knows he cannot stop the release once it begins. His only hope is to make you ignore it, to let the timing slip until the window closes. That is why distractions will come even as you hear this. Your mind will try to wander, your attention will be pulled elsewhere, doubts will whisper. But I am here, my sword drawn, keeping your focus, because you cannot afford to lose what is at hand. And now, I tell you this, the days ahead will not just bring provision, they will bring proof. Proof that God's promises to you were not empty. Proof that the delays were not denials. Proof that you have been seen, heard, and fought for every single day of your life. You will see it in the numbers, you will see it in the opportunities, you will see it in the way peace settles over your mind like a blanket after years of restlessness. And you will look back on this day not as the day you read words, but as the day your life turned. My beloved, there are currents moving around you now that you cannot see with your natural eyes, but your spirit feels them. You have felt the restless shifting in the air these past days, the sense that something is coming, but you can't quite name it. That is not your imagination. That is the stirring of heaven's release, the sound of doors unbolting, the soft hum of favor being drawn into your life. I have seen it from above, angels weaving pathways between you and the resources, people, and opportunities written for you before your birth. This moment was circled on the scroll of your destiny long before you walked the earth. And now, God says, it is here. Yet he speaks the warning again, sharp and unsoftened. Today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen if you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all your money. This is not a figure of speech. I see clearly what lies on both sides of this choice. On one side, streams of provision flowing toward you, streams that will fill every dry place in your life until you no longer live from lack but from overflow. On the other side, a subtle draining, so quiet at first you might not notice it until it's too late. This is why I must grip your attention with both hands now. The difference between the two paths is not about effort, but about alignment. When you align with the voice heaven sends to you, you step under the covering where no thief can reach you. When you turn away, you step into open ground where anything can be taken. Child, I know the voice of doubt tries to speak when you hear words like these. It will say, this is too much. This cannot be real. Nothing this good happens to me. That voice does not come from heaven. It comes from the wounds of the past, from the years where you hoped and were disappointed, from the times you were let down by people who promised more than they gave. But this is not one of those times. This is not a human promise. This is a divine decree. When God marks a day for a blessing, it does not matter who agrees with it or who doubts it. The only question is whether you will step forward to receive it. There is something you must know about the timing of this. In the spirit realm, opportunities are living things. They do not stand still forever. They move, they flow, they arrive when all is ready and they move on if the door is left unopened. This is one of those living moments. That is why I have been at your side from the moment the Father spoke your name this morning. I could not risk you missing it. I have shielded you from distractions today, pulled you here to this exact moment, because once the sands in this hourglass run out, the shape of this opportunity will change. And beloved, do not think this is only about money. Money is simply the first wave, the visible proof. Behind it are other waves, restoration of relationships, healing in places you stopped praying for, doors to territories you thought were closed forever. All of these are tied to this moment. That is why the attack against your finances has been so sharp lately. The enemy is not just trying to take your money, he is trying to block the chain reaction of blessings that will follow when your provision is restored. I see you months from now, standing in a place you could not reach in your own strength, holding in your hands the very things you thought were lost forever. I see you no longer calculating every step in fear of loss, but moving freely, generously, confidently. I see you funding dreams, helping others, making decisions without the shadow of lack breathing down your neck. And the smile on your face will be more than joy, it will be recognition. Recognition of the moment you chose to believe these words and step into the light they offered. My child, there are names being spoken about you right now in rooms you have never entered. Some are speaking in your favor, moved by an unseen hand. Others are speaking against you, fueled by jealousy or fear. But hear this, the voices against you will not prevail. Their words will dissolve before they take form, because God has placed a seal of favor over your name in this season. Every tongue that rises against you will fall silent, and every plan that is meant to harm you will turn to your benefit. You will watch as what was meant for harm becomes the very bridge that carries you forward. I tell you also that this blessing will come in layers. The first will feel like a sudden rush, money arriving, opportunities presenting, small debts cleared quickly, unexpected credits appearing. This will be followed by stability, the kind that doesn't come from scrambling, but from a steady flow that allows you to plan, to rest, to think beyond the next bill. And then will come the third layer, expansion. The point where you are not only living in provision but are able to pour into others without fear of running dry. This third layer is the true goal of heaven's release, not just to fill your cup, but to make it overflow into the lives of those who need it most. Beloved, the reason I am speaking in such detail is because I need you to see it in your spirit before you see it in your hands. The clearer you can see it inside, the more easily it will manifest outside. That is how faith works, it brings the unseen into the seen. And I promise you, as one who has stood before the throne, that what I am describing is not wishful thinking. It is written. It is scheduled. It is already moving toward you now. But here is the truth that cannot be softened. If you ignore it, if you walk away now, the enemy will take this opening as permission to move in. And his first act will be to create loss. Not all at once, but in small, Steady bites until you look around and realize that the abundance you were meant to have has been reduced to just enough to survive. That is not God's plan for you. He is not the God of just enough. He is the God of more than enough. But to receive the more, you must choose it now. So I stand here before you, my wings spread wide to shield you from every distraction, my sword drawn to cut down every whisper of doubt, and I ask you, will you step forward? Will you claim the blessing with your yes? Will you let this be the day you look back on as the one where everything turned? My beloved, lean closer now, because what I am about to say will not just pass through your ears, it will mark your spirit. There are rare moments in a lifetime when heaven shifts its gaze entirely upon you, when the swirl of divine activity becomes concentrated in your direction alone. You are in one of those moments now. I wish you could see what I see, the golden threads being pulled across the tapestry of your destiny, weaving a pattern you could never have designed on your own. This is not the work of chance, nor the slow turning of ordinary time. This is a sudden act of God, a precise orchestration of people, resources, and opportunities that has been timed to the second. And yet, in the very same breath that this release begins, I see shadows stretching toward it, hands that do not belong to you reaching out to take what has your name carved into it. That is why the Father speaks with such unsoftened urgency. Today will be the most surprising day of your life because this will happen if you open this now. Otherwise, you will lose all your money. I know those words strike you. They are meant to. Not to put fear in you, but to wake you from any temptation to treat this moment casually. Because money in the natural is never just money in the spirit. It represents capacity. It represents reach. It represents your ability to step into what has been assigned to you. When the enemy attacks it, he is not attacking paper or numbers, he is attacking the future that those resources make possible. That is why the defense of your finances right now is so urgent. This is not about holding on to what you have. It is about preserving the ground for what is on its way. Beloved, I see the enemy's ledger, a cruel accounting of the small and large ways he has siphoned from you over the years. Some of those losses you noticed and grieved. Others slipped away so quietly you did not even know they were gone. But beside that ledger, I see another, God's record of every seed you have planted, every act of faith, every offering of time, love, service, or trust you have given in His name. And the numbers on His side outshine and outweigh anything on the other. This is why the shift is happening now, because the weight of your faith has tipped the scale in heaven's favor, and the release can no longer be delayed. You must understand, there is no delay in God without a reason. If He waited, it was because there was something in you, or in the path ahead, that needed to be ready to hold what He was sending. And now, I tell you, you are ready. The ground beneath you is ready. The people who will stand with you are ready. The ones who were not for you have already been removed, whether you realized it or not. Even the enemy's latest schemes are being dismantled as I speak, their roots cut off so they cannot grow back. My child, this blessing will not trickle in, it will arrive like a flood. At first, you may not know what to do with it all. That is why discernment will be poured into you alongside the provision. You will know where to place what comes to you, and where not to. You will be able to tell which opportunities are part of the blessing and which are distractions dressed in good clothing. The peace in your spirit will be your compass, and anything that disturbs it will be a sign to step back. There will be moments in the days ahead where you will feel almost outside of yourself, watching things happen that you once only imagined. You will see approvals come through without the usual struggle. You will hear yes in places where you were sure you would hear no. You will find favor in eyes that once looked past you. And each of these moments will feel like a confirmation, because they are. They will whisper to you, this is what God promised. This is what He meant when He said the surprising day would come. And yet, I must speak plainly, if you treat this word lightly, if you walk away from it thinking there will be another time, you will leave the door open for loss. The enemy is not idle. He has already been working angles, using people, situations, and even your own past doubts to create cracks in the walls of your provision. If you do not seal those cracks now with obedience and alignment, they will widen, and the blessing meant for you will begin to drain away. I do not say this to frighten you, but because it is my task to speak truth without dilution. I will tell you something else, and I want you to hold it close. The size of this blessing is directly tied to the size of the purpose on your life. You may have thought your role was small, that your work or your influence touched only a few. But heaven does not measure reach the way the world does. There are ripples from your life that have gone farther than you will ever see. And this next season will expand that reach even more. The provision coming to you is not just for you, it is for the assignments God has yet to reveal. Some of those assignments will come in the form of people, others in the form of places, still others in the form of visions you thought were too big to touch. Child, I have guarded many over the ages, but I tell you the truth, the way heaven has guarded you in this last year is unlike anything I have seen in a long time. Attacks that should have destroyed your momentum were turned aside at the last moment. Losses that would have been devastating were reduced to inconveniences. Doors that would have taken you in the wrong direction were shut before you could walk through them. All of this was so that, when today came, you would be in the exact position to step forward without hindrance. The air around you is charged right now, heavy with the presence of what is about to break open. This is not a slow build. It is the moment before the wave crests and crashes to shore. You are standing with your feet in the waterline, feeling the pull, sensing the power that is about to be released. Do not step back now. Do not let fear or hesitation pull you to dry ground. Stay in position. Lift your hands. The wave will not harm you, it will lift you higher than you have been before. And when it does, you will look back on this day and understand why the words were so urgent, why the warning was so sharp, why I would not let you turn away. Because the difference between stepping forward and stepping back in this moment is the difference between overflow and loss, between the testimony of abundance and the memory of what might have been. And beloved, you were never created for what might have been. You were created for, this is what God did for me.